All right, 5:02 right now. The immigration debate will be front and center on Capitol Hill today, a day before the Supreme Court takes up the case. SB 1070 sponsors Russell Pierce and State Senator Steve Gallardo will speak to senators today. Joe Dana is live in Washington for us. He joins us now with more. Good morning to you, Joe.
Hey, good morning, Faye. Yeah, it's day two as we're covering illegal immigration center stage here in Washington, D.C. You've got the Senate subcommittee taking up the issue today to talk about the pros and cons of local police enforcing federal immigration law. And then, of course, tomorrow, the Supreme Court will hear oral arguments about SB 1070. And joining me now is former State House Speaker Kirk Adams. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
He's also currently running for the newly created Congressional District 5 as a Republican. All right, you were there at the epicenter of the SB 1070
Yes.
debate when this was going through the House and Senate in Arizona. How would you break it down here? What is good about SB 1070, and in your perfect world, how would you change it?
Well, SB 1070 fundamentally allows police officers to enforce existing law. That's what good. What I would wish we could do to improve it would be provide resources specifically for our public safety officials at the border region itself, because that's where our most acute problem is.
You held SB 1070 for a couple of months.
Yes.
While then Senator Russell Pierce was trying to push it through. Why did you hold it?
I thought it was very important that we fix a few things about the bill as it was passed by the Senate. First, some of the language was inarticulate and confusing. And second, we wanted to make sure that the bill had strong safeguards against racial profiling. And in fact, the House amendment provided that. And the bill now has stronger safeguards against racial profiling than the underlying federal bill upon which it is based.
Okay. As the Supreme Court looks at this, we're also looking at a bigger picture here in terms of what role the laborer should have in America in general. We're built on these blue-collar workers, and over the years, many of them have been here illegally. You're a businessman.
Yep.
Can't you see from that point of view the role that illegal immigrants have played in building our society?
As a small businessman, I know this very well. Legal immigration is an important part of not only the history of our country, but it will be an important part for the future of our country. SB 1070 does nothing to deal with legal immigration. We all admit that. State-only enforcement legislation cannot solve this problem.
Right.
This is why the federal government right here in Washington, D.C. must step up to the plate, secure our borders, and give us a legal entry system that actually works, provides for the needs of the country, and is fair and humane.
My last thought here is you have been known for taking risks and doing things that you feel are right. For example, when it came to pension reform in our state, doing
Right.
some of the dirty work that maybe other politicians weren't willing to do.
Right.
How about stepping up and saying, because a lot of Arizonans feel this way, not all, saying, you know what, let's go ahead and try to pass the DREAM Act and at the same time try to secure our borders. Let's do something comprehensive. Wouldn't that seem like a logical political move?
It would seem logical if we hadn't been down that path at least twice and failed each time. I believe the way to approach this problem is to first secure the border, have tough visa reform, and then fix the legal entry system. It shouldn't be more expensive and more difficult to come to the country legally than it is to come illegally. We fix those three problems, and everything else related to this issue will be much easier to solve.
All right, your prediction for the Supreme Court? Of course, they don't make the actual decision or
Right.
announce it till the summer, but
Well, you know, far be it from me to predict the Supreme Court and be accurate, but I'm going to try. I think they will uphold at least the core provision of the bill,
Okay.
which allows for police officers during an arrest, with all the various conditions and protections in place, to ask immigration status.
all right, former State House Speaker Kirk Adams, hoping to return here as a congressman eventually. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your
Appreciate
time
it,
here in
John.
Washington, D.C. It'll be an interesting
Thank you.
couple of days.
You sure will.
And we're expecting fireworks today, of course, with the subcommittee hearing some Arizonans talking about the issue as well as others. Faye?